Not sure if we're live yet, but if we are, hello everyone. This is Yonks with REtoken, the real estate DAO, and hanging out with everyone here. This is our weekly community call, and it is Wednesday, December 8th. We host these at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and I'm going to just run through the list because I don't think that you can see it on the Zoom, and want to we've got a lot planned here for tonight and created a special POAP. And thank you, Amy, for going through the process of all the POAP business. And again, we've got a lot to go through. We are looking at calling December the REtoken relaunch month. And we've got 9 people hanging out here on Zoom. And I'm going to just cycle through the list. We've got myself, Blurs, Brian, Crush, Amy, Tyler, Double D, Julie, and Dax. Welcome everybody tonight to, again, our 15th community call here at REtoken, the real estate DAO. And why are we calling it the REtoken relaunch? Well, there's a lot of reasons. And one of the things too, I've got a little bit of agenda itemized here. I wanted to start off with the bad news first. I did, and I don't know if anybody else saw this, but I did get confirmation that we are not proceeding through the Hero X and American Made Solar Challenge. So that being said, I was setting the expectations and will continue to say that Token Town is a project that will move forward regardless of that determination. So that means that we need to get better at creating proposals and making it more clear. And that being said, you know, everything that we were doing for Token Town, like for those that may or may not know, Token Town from an idea evolution standpoint wasn't even an idea when I was in Austin for the Real Estate Blockchain Summit in September 9th or the 10th. And then that idea evolved to when I was in Austin again for the Digital Assets and Securities Conference on, I think it was like the 21st to the 23rd. Teresa was also there. We won tickets from the Security Token Market Show, STO Market. And that was a fabulous event. Learned a lot about digital assets and security tokens. And really the idea, and that's where the tagline, the HOA destroyer, really materialized and cemented. It became apparently painfully evident how much people hate HOAs. And we will be talking more about Token Town, but this month we are functionally doing a relaunch for REtoken. So one of the things that we are doing is we're utilizing and evaluating is probably the best way to do it, because we haven't used this tool before. I don't have a lot of experience using Coordinate, and I'm going to bring that on screen here. We had our first implementation session after our our core team call on Sunday, which is another one of our flagship community events that we hold on a weekly basis. That's Sunday at 3 o'clock. And I saw Ryan join. So welcome, Ryan. Thank you for hanging out here with us tonight. This is, again, a very important community call that we've got, because this is really the kickoff and the introduction of the We Biddle series, I guess you could probably say, is the best way to characterize that. And I'm gonna go back to Coordinate in a minute. And what do I mean by the We Biddle series? But I wanted to pause real quick and just let everybody chime in here with some raw thoughts as far as REtoken relaunch here in December. We had a little bit of side conversation. The way that we structure this hour window for our core team call and our community call, this is actually the community call. And one of the things that I did that was slightly different here tonight compared to our previous ones is I dialed the go live time from 7:15 to 7:10. And I'm actually going to just, while I'm getting ready to go on mute, I'm going to engage with our chat live stream channel on Discord, see if we've got anybody hanging out, because we do incentivize through our social token live stream participation, because we know how much that YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or whatever platform that you may be engaging on, love the engagement. We also have this being streamed, I think, here on Twitter via Periscope. But anyway, I'm going on mute. I'm going to hop to the live stream chat channel here on Discord. But again, I would love to hear anyone's thoughts as far as REtoken relaunch.
Not quite related to that directly, but the whole BIDL thing, I was a little skeptical of that. And then I started getting into the whole ETH Ethereum Denver conference that's coming up in February. And BIDL is all over the place. So apparently that is, so I apologize for any skepticism I provided earlier on that term. Even though I have seen it before, but it is definitely a lot bigger than I thought, especially in the DeFi area. So let's roll with the BIDL.
Well, and I guess that's a good opportunity here, because true story, like look at the recent search, and this is kind of a Twitter power user tip. And I saw Teresa popped in. Hey, welcome tonight, Teresa. Again, tonight is welcome. This is a power user tip here real quick, and I wanted to provide a little bit of context to what you just said, because this is some of me being completely like transparent and showing some of my origin story here with ETH Denver and Spork DAO specifically. And when I did this search, it didn't take too long here to see what was on, and this was the top results. So this is some of my origin story with DAOs, and Spork DAO is functionally, they're in a transition period. I don't really know what that looks like. That's another conversation altogether, but I have actively engaged in Spork DAO. I was at the Spork DAO poker tournament after Metacartel in Denver. So looking forward to whomever is going to commit to coming out to Denver in February. And if it's something that you're thinking about, I would highly encourage you to get on the list now. Don't wait. It's something I heard that they got like 2,000 applications. It's a free event. The meat of the event is going to be the 18th to the 20th of February, but there's a lot of stuff going on the front side of that, the 11th to the 17th. And then on the back end of that in Breckenridge, there's going to be a big after party. I have no idea what that's going to look like, the 21st to the 24th. And through our Dowplomacy, and that's one of the things that's a new initiative through our ambassadors program, I'm actually going to foster some conversations with DAO House. One of the DAOs that I'm wanting to immediately launch is an our home investing club for co-op housing, and I don't want to go off onto details. That's something I'm still trying to figure out. Haven't had enough bandwidth. It was something I wanted to get done last week, but thank you for bringing that up. And this was something that was very timely. It was like I just showed you there, a recent search that I just did. So little segue there. And another pro tip, if you're really wanting to really be at ETH Denver coming up in February, need to pick up the PFP NFT, because they're prioritizing people that have that. I don't know how many of those have been minted, and you can see it's actually on my Twitter profile. I was on the pre-launch for that as a Spork holder. But anyway, I'm going to go back and allow some other people an opportunity to chime in on this REtoken relaunch before I kind of go through some of these proposals that I just like fire hosed within the Discord within the last 24 hours. Oh, and welcome, Poopster. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is a pretty pivotal community call tonight with REtoken. So got a lot of stuff to go, but I'm going to go back on mute. But welcome tonight, Poopster and Teresa. So we've got a full house. I see 12 people on our Zoom here now.
Thank you for having us. And yeah, full house. I think it'd be great if we had those voting KPI options in place. So I'm going to go ahead and push for that this week. Sorry, I've been lagging behind on that, but gonna jump right on that and see if we can't get rolling there.
Well, and this may be an opportunity too, Poopster, to slightly revise. I mean, we're introducing a new component. I mean, have changed the Discord roles fairly substantially here, and that's actually I'm not going to go off on that tangent yet. And I saw that we had Kevin just join us. Welcome, Kevin, to our weekly community call. We are live right now, and I got distracted. I didn't even chime in on the live stream channel. Let me do that real quick. So, hello from me. Who is on the live stream tonight? Bonus REtoken. So another thing too, I'm not going to go off on that tangent, but some raw thoughts. Let's hear some other raw thoughts as far as this REtoken and relaunch before I start going back onto the agenda. All right, well, I'm going to keep the conversation train going. So I think one of the things I'm going to do first is talk a little bit about the Discord roles. And the Discord has been changing pretty substantially, trying to get some more organization. And this isn't the only thing too. And we'll talk about that here momentarily. But let me talk a little bit about one of the biggest things is the REtoken. And this isn't the biggest thing. I mean, like, this is just one component, but this is literally the first time that we've done any REtoken gated channels. So right now, from a Discord role standpoint, let me just take a look here at the Discord roles, because that might be a good opportunity. And one of the, and I guess I'm gonna go back to what I was, and there was a reason for this, is I created a bounty on Trello, and I'll show that here real quick. And this is just one of the things that trying to provide some, or just not provide, but create some processes and workflow surrounding to make it easier for people to understand what the heck is going on, right? Because that's what we want to do, is make it easier for people to contribute. I mean, we've got a growing community here, and making it easy for people to understand. And so there's going to be a lot of ongoing efforts for that. And again, this was something that Dax picked up pretty quickly from a timeline standpoint. I created this thread in Discord yesterday at 4:13. And then Dax picked it up at 4:39. So it didn't even take Dax. And thank you for stepping up on that, Dax. And this is one of the things that, again, we'll be working on. And this is one of the opportunities that we have. And that was something that we spoke about earlier, is because a lot of people don't understand Trello. Trello is a great tool. It's similar to Notion in some functionality. Notion may be more streamlined in some others. Notion, or Trello, predates Notion. But either way, we are going to continually have conversations about tools. So I don't want to go off as far as Notion or Trello or anything like that. But what I did want to mention here, within the next several days or within the next week, we're going to be putting on our calendar, the Google Calendar. I will go off on that tangent. For those people that don't know, we have a Google Calendar, and I'm going to make this full screen. This is the place to check first and foremost. We've got a link on here, and it's kind of fun looking at this Google Calendar because it looks a little different. This is actually like the official one on the REtoken profile. I'm logged in on the REtoken Google account right now and doing some fun stuff with the color coding. This is just making it easier for me to see. And the blue calendar representations are the new teams. And this is functionally the first week where we have some team differentiation within REtoken. And that goes hand in hand with the launching of Coordinape, or the implementation. This is functionally like our trial period of it. And we kind of put forward doing Coordinape in 4 rounds on a weekly basis. In Coordinape, it's called an epoch. And here's the and part of the implementation and the execution strategy for Coordinape is on the tail end of our core team call on Sunday at 4 o'clock. And that's the implement Coordinape. Our core team call is at 3 o'clock. So right at the tail end of that, we will go through, and this will be the first one. We've currently got it kind of underway. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be a little bit more intentional about here over the next couple of days, are communicating some things. So one of the other things that we implemented to keep the conversation moving forward as far as Coordinape specifically is that we I put in this, and this is going back to Discord here real quick, and this is in the teams category on Discord. We did create some new teams to facilitate this new component within Discord. Corresponding, it's pretty simple. Ambassadors, content, core, not using any type of. So anyway, where I was going with that is, and thank you, Blackfire. I saw Blackfire popped on here too. Blackfire has really been leading the initiative with the formation of our ambassadors program. So thank you, Blackfire, for, and I'm not even sure what time it is, across the pond down under where you're coming to. I think it's Perth. And I don't know if that's functionally Western Australia. How do you?
Yeah, that's correct. So it's like 8:30 a.m. at the moment. So in the morning.
Awesome. Well, thank you for popping on here. And speaking of time zone coordination, like one of the tools, and this is something that talking about this team captain component, and I'm not going to go off because I wanted to show a little bit more on Coordinape. And let me get over here. This is where I got distracted earlier, was getting my creds in the last pass, so I can kind of show you my screen here where you can make a little bit more sense of what I'm talking about. So just logging in over here on screen 1, and here we go. So this is my profile on Coordinape. Everybody that's participating in here on Coordinape, I would really encourage you to get your profile set up. And this is one, REtoken is one of, let's see, Creator DAO, and also participating in the Coordinape at BitDAO. So on our, the one that I set a lot of stuff up here is the ambassadors. And this is something too, if you wanted to get a little, since I took the effort on this here, Blackfire, if you wanted to get a little experience operationally with the content team, I would absolutely encourage and embrace that. So, and I also wanted to applaud Blackfire for hopping in here. He's already done his allocations, and here's what that looks like. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Blackfire, but I think what you did is click on this little judge weight symbol here. So what that does is that automatically distributes evenly to the entire team. So we'll talk more about Coordinape. This is just kind of an intro, and really wanting to encourage people to get their Coordinape profile set up. And one of the other things, and I just want to plant this seed here, one of the value added pieces of conversation that Mrs. Yonks and I have just barely started having any conversations about is creating a mastermind, how to become Web3 professionals. And I'm just going to tease with that and just let that kind of like, and that's something I haven't even had enough conversations with Mrs. Yonks. I will bring that up again at our upcoming core team call on Sunday at 3, and then we can potentially talk about that. One of the other tools here that starting to think that may be of value for us to look at using, and this is something that I encourage Mrs. Yonks to drive the train with the scheduling of this, how to utilize, or kind of like the how to Trello at REtoken 101 or whatever we're going to call that, but some type of how to session to give people the opportunity to kind of really discover how we're using Trello here at REtoken. And I wanted to welcome Dylan for joining us. Thank you, Dylan Design, for popping in here on our Zoom. As I've said a couple times, this is a very important community call where we're really kicking off the idea of this REtoken relaunch. And one of the things that I really want people to, from tonight, Wednesday night till Sunday, our core team call, really engage as far as like some thoughts. I put forward a bunch of different proposals. One of the other things I was having a little bit of conversation with Mrs. Yonks while I've still got the coordinate on screen here. And if anybody wants to have like a breakout session on coordinate here between now and Sunday, let me know. And that's probably more geared towards anybody that has an interest of being an admin. And I'm thinking more of the team captains. I know Dax raised his hand wanting to be involved. And one of the things to kind of like provide a little bit more context around this team captain idea, we're looking at doing 4 rounds, 4 weeks on this initial coordinate exercise, wanting each epoch to be in a week. I'm a firm believer of that we as people, the way that society today is architected, we operate on a weekly basis and creatures of habits, Monday to Sunday. I prefer to kick off my week on a Monday because everybody calls Saturday and Sunday a weekend. So, you know, it doesn't make any sense to me why a lot of people or a lot of calendars reflect the weekend at this. Anyway, that's a philosophical thing, not going to go off. But if there's any interest of having like, maybe I'm thinking maybe like a 30-minute session. And I think that we should do that maybe Friday or Saturday, but looking at the calendar on Saturday, we've already got a lot of agenda. And I wanted to thank Design for putting his proposal forward and raising his hand. We already had the ambassadors team meeting that Blackfire led Tuesday morning. Blursday has raised his hand to lead the core team call on Sunday. And I'm gonna hold everybody's hands throughout this process. One of the things that I think that we can do to make things be more simple for everybody is to do communications as consistent as possible, whether it's Design doing them or Tyler doing them. When we're doing like a REtoken event, if we communicate in a consistent manner, the better that we do that, it makes it easier for people, don't get confused that way. And that's one of the things. All of this blockchain stuff is very confusing as it is anyway. But I was just going to look at the calendar here for Saturday. Let me make this a little bit bigger, because one of the other things that is on the calendar for the first time is the book club, the DAO Hack Book Club. I'll add a little bit more context and provide some framework. This is something that Mrs. Yonks and I have been hosting on Saturday morning via Clubhouse pretty much, I don't know, like since April or May. Like, it's something hosted under another channel on Clubhouse. We moved it to Twitter Spaces under the DAO Hack brand, and it's something that we are going to continue to host, but now we're moving it back to Clubhouse. But the format of it is, and I actually need to adjust the time because we normally go 2 hours on this, and the first hour is where we listen to the audio, and then the second hour is that we have a discussion of it. And it's a really fun way. And the book that we're doing is Getting Things Done by David Allen, and I largely attribute all the things that I get done to fully embracing the GTD methodology. And I think we're getting ready for chapter 5, but that's such a great book. And I'll add a little bit more details as far as like that and provides anyway. But back to the REtoken agenda, dev team, it looked like the poll that DSign put forward on the dev team chat channel, everybody seemed the 1 o'clock time frame was the best. And then to just leverage the momentum here, Mrs. Yonks is going to be kicking off the Mighty Networks launch team conversation. And Dax put forward a great question. He's like, man, I thought we were just evaluating Mighty Networks. It's absolutely true. And the best way to evaluate, we kicked off the 14-day evaluation. I think it was like the 2nd of December. And then they also have I think there's, so I don't know exactly when that puts us for the 14-day period. But I think that they are getting ready to increase their pricing there. And this is probably a good segue here into the BIDL stuff. And before I do that, I wanted to allow DSign or Mrs. Yonks to chime in, or Blackfire, as far as providing some initial feedback. So one of you three, but I would like to hear from everybody. And you, Blursday, as far as the this whole team captain concept that we're introducing here tonight as well.
Blursday, do you want to get started? Or DSign, are you there to get started?
Hello, sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I wanted to hear your initial thoughts on Mighty Networks and the whole launch, the team launch.
I haven't had a chance to look at Mighty Network, sorry.
No, I was more looking for some input on this team captain concept and just being very conversational. So like, and one of the things too, I gave everybody the opportunity, and let me actually digress real quick, because this is where I pinged everybody on this, and this was in the DAO Governance category. And again, that was a change that I made here on Discord, was I broke out the voting proposals into its own category. And the largest reason that I did that is because I created a whole bunch of proposals along this WeBiddle train that kicked off here. And the one that I was talking about was this one right here, WeBiddle, a DAO leadership factory. And this is the one that I pinged everybody. And I just wanted to read this proposal here, and you can read it if you're, or look at it on the screen. How will we biddle a DAO leadership factory? And real quick, I've got 2 people in the waiting room. I don't know if I should allow Tony Stark in here. I'll let you all decide that. Kevin's been popping in and out, but I'm not sure about the Tony Stark. Does anybody know who this Tony Stark is? But anyway.
Yes, that's the guy we invited from the Bankless DAO. So he's
okay,
new in the Bankless DAO. So yep, I think he's
okay,
safe
cool.
to...
Okay, thanks for the clarification. And that's one of the gating things that we've done just based upon some personal experience with Zoom. Anyway, so one of the BIDL proposals, and I think that this was 9 or 10. I think the first one was functionally the light paper WeBiddle, a WeBiddle passive income with real estate for everyone. So anyway, WeBiddle. How will we biddle a DAO leadership factory? One of the ways is with the team captain concept. And this is one of the opportunities that through this REtoken relaunch, and it's something really all month long here. I really want this to be like where we can have input for everybody, where everybody feels like that their voice can be heard, where we can really like lay a solid foundation here. because we've got the last 4 weeks. I mean, so we've 4 weeks. This is week 49, 49, 50, 51, 52. So 4 weeks to finish out 2021 here. So part of the aspect of this too is I think that this 4-week cycle will be really good. Now, whether that will be the case, fast forward 2 or 3 4-week cycles from now. But one of the things is I kind of, like I already alluded, I'm wanting to lean more heavily myself into fostering this content culture here. And that's one of the reasons that I'm wanting myself to lead the content team. I've said before, say it again, we'll continue to say it. REtoken is a content DAO. A lot of people call it a media DAO, and I don't know, how do you guys call it over at Bankless? Do you guys identify as or you all, or how does Bankless identify as a media DAO or a content DAO?
I think they don't have any identification in terms of classification, so you can't put a label on Bankless in a sense that it does create a lot of content, and then it is also host a lot of AMAs, and it also does advertising and marketing, like mercenary advertising marketing for money. So it is also building, currently they're also allocating some fund for the consultancy, so which is going to be advertising, marketing, plus servicing the clients. So clients like Citadel. So Citadel, we talked about in the Discord. I suppose, you have got the picture where they're interacting, what's the stage of their interactions and relationship with Bankless DAO. So to sort of service those projects, which is not really Bankless DAO want to get involved with or have a partnership with. Rather, it is an opportunity for Bankless DAO to get involved with Citadel because of the grant reason, monetary value reason. So as long as there's a monetary value, they can go ahead, promote anyone, but they are not really endorsing the project. Rather, they're saying that these are there is a new project in the market, go ahead, do your own research, but it's on your, we are not endorsing it, but rather we are putting the information out there. And, so that sort of things. And that's why they are creating the Bankless DAO consultancy currently, a group of teams. So I was writing some papers or documents for them, how to govern and stuff. So it remains to be seen how it's going to work, is because once you go into the area of doing business with others, then a legal issue comes into play. But we do have a legal team in there. But you do have to pay taxes because you're providing service, legal service or financial advice or servicing others. I don't know how they're going to mitigate those sort of gaps and relationship. I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with some ideas. So that's where we Bankless DAO are at the moment. But in terms of Education Guild, Dev Guild, Avi Guild, and there's tons of guilds. But I am mainly involved with Education Guild. Ernest is also involved in Education Guild. So I also do planning and fact check and quality control for all the education materials in Bankless. So when someone create a workshop, so if they create a workshop, I check the contents. So if it's legit, I do the due diligence. I do the suggestion and feedbacks, how it can be improved. And so which is pretty good. And yeah, so I'll let someone speak. That's how the bank was going to be.
So any other thoughts on this team captain concept there? And that was the where we got off a little bit, going back to this Biddle, a DAO leadership factory. And this was again, and if anybody else is interested in being a team captain, please reach out to myself or Mrs. Yonks and let us know your interest on that. This is, again, we want people to lead initiatives here and really wanting to foster again, the better that we can work together as far as getting all the things done and laying a solid foundation here. And I've been and will continue. And one of the reasons that I like team, and you've probably seen me shift intentionally to using team in all uppercase. And that's because I love the acronym team. Together, everyone achieves more. So like Bankless has guilds, here at REtoken, we're going to have teams, and that's something here during this REtoken relaunch that we can really lean heavy into the team concept. And but to go back to you, D-Sign, kicking off the dev team, you want to give us a little perspective as far as your thoughts and kind of drum up some excitement for the dev team kickoff Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So over to you, D-Sign.
Hey everyone, so I talked to Jason a little bit about some pain points that we're having with governance on the DAO. And I'm thinking that our first task as the dev team might be looking into either finding tools that can help us fix some of these pain points or maybe designing a dashboard that houses these tools. Because I imagine that as the DAO grows, we will also end up with more needs and more utilities that we don't have developed yet or don't exist yet. So I'm thinking it would be cool to have a website where we can store all of these utilities that we need. But with that said, if you've been doing DAO management and DAO governance and you have some kind of pain point or some kind of issue that remains unsolved, let me know or throw it in the dev team chat, and we can take that into consideration when we start planning our first moves.
I got a list for you today for days there, D-Sign. So, and this is just to kind of get the appetite wet a little bit here. And this is something that I'm going to put forward through an official proposal as far as the RET.eth. And this is something that I think with Dax rocking out that, what do you call it, the username there in Discord, that it really like resonated. And when I saw if this was available the other day, I went ahead and registered it here. So I think that this is something that we can really start getting creative with as far as how we can utilize this ENS domain. And ENS was extremely generous to the crypto community, and REtoken was a recipient of that. And like, I am going to digress on this and show the REtoken treasury. And this is one of the opportunities. We've had some preliminary conversations on this, and it's still something that we can get better at as far as the treasury management. And we'll be having more conversations about that. And again, this is the REtoken relaunch month. And we've got, and when I said generous, this is why that I say that ENS was generous, because we received 262 something ENS, which is currently valued at over $12,000. So thank you, ENS, Ethereum Naming Service. And that's another opportunity too to kind of go off on another tangent real quick. And I will do this actually via the boardroom portal here. And this is one of the portals that we put in place as far as for DAO and governance during the Gitcoin Decentralized Governance Hackathon, which REtoken did knock out the grand prize. So we're very proud of that accomplishment. And that was the DGov Hackathon. The Gitcoin one ran, I believe it was middle of August to the first week of September. It was a very memorable experience. And where I was going with that is, like, one of the things that's fabulous about this is voters. It shows like who is voting, how many times that people have voted. Like, hear me, I voted 26 times, so I'm the most active person, and that hopefully shouldn't be a surprise. But this is, again, like one of the things that Poopster was talking about. We've got our another bounty that we won from UMA is their KPI options. And this is something that will really, I think, with all the things that are underway, this will be a great time to move the KPI options forward. And one of the things while we're on season 0, and I hear somebody, I don't know if somebody's got an open mic, but I'm going to allow somebody else to chime in here on this. And I'm going to go to the proposals tab and go on mute so that you can see some of these proposals that are currently open in Boardroom or Snapshot.
Alicia, is your mic open?
Yeah, I just put it on mute. So I'm going to keep the conversation going. And so there's 2 opportunities that you have. I like showing Boardroom. There's more opportunity for us to do more with Boardroom, but I normally utilize Snapshot. Part of the reason is that I have other DAOs that are actively participating in here in Snapshot. And again, this is something that I would encourage everybody to look at after the call concludes. You can see here, we've got this number 4. That means that there are 4 active proposals. So if you are currently a REtoken holder, go vote. This is something where, you know, every time that you don't vote, it creates an evidence of your lack of participation here in REtoken. And one of the things that we love doing is incentivizing participation. And that's one of the things that we will be putting more efforts forward. Like Superfluid is one of the things that we've spoken about. That was one of the research bounties that Design did some efforts on. So like this team captain, this would be I think a great application for us to get some initial experience with Superfluid, because team captain is an extra area of responsibility. So incentivizing people that are stepping up for that 4-week role. And that's one of the things that I think, and again, whether 4 weeks will make sense, it's I think a manageable number. It's technically less than a month unless you're in February. But let's take a look here real quick at these proposals that we've got open. And just so that everybody knows, one of the things that do typically from a scheduling standpoint is schedule these where they normally end the voting at an hour or 2 after our weekly events. And right now, the main 2 weekly events that we have is the community call here, and then the core team call on Sunday at 3. So like this proposal here, Token Town participation, and this was just more to kind of like bring some closure to that event. So like this one here, end date, you can see here in 1 hour. So like I said, and that's one of the things that's very nice about Snapshot, is it allows us to have complete flexibility as far as when we want to start or end the proposals. And that's one of the things that I'm and one of the things, what was the proposal that you did, Blurs? The one for Dharma, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So thank you for doing that. And have you actually got this opened?
Oh, I certainly hope so. It was the first one I've ever done.
No, I mean the wallet or whatever. I don't know what that process looks like, or no, the proposal is all open and closed. So thank you, Blurs, for doing that. And so one of the proposals, and the reason that I was bringing this up, you and Mrs. Yonks and Design wanted to recognize you for creating new proposals, because all 3 of you, this was your first proposal. Like the one that just closed here, Dharma, that was Blur's Day's first proposal, and he's going to get a special POAP. That was something that we had some conversations about previously. We love the POAPs, and creating a DAO milestone, such as creating your first proposal, is a unique way that you can have a DAO milestone here with REtoken through a proposal. So thank you, Blurs. Thank you, Mrs. Yonks. And Mrs. Yonks got the one for nominating Community Member of the Week, Amy, Dax, and Crush. That's one of the fun things that we do. We have some more to go through here. We've only got 5 minutes left for our
I want to chime in very quickly here with these. As someone who is very active in this community, I feel like I'm falling behind, and I miss all these proposals on Snapshot. I know that if you pay a significant amount, you can get those feeded or fed to Discord, but somehow I'm missing all these because I come to the meeting like you say, hey, that we have like, you know, all these new proposals, and even I like, oh wow, I missed 3 of these or 2 of these or whatever.
Yeah, I missed
So-
them all as well the last time
Yeah,
around.
so we definitely
like
have a
6 of them.
disconnect there. Not throwing you under the bus here. Well, maybe I am. Hey, boop. But yeah, that's something we have to figure out, because even I, who is very active here, is missing a lot of these, and so we have to figure that out.
Well, I'm open for some ideas, but I do have it as a regular DAO business bullet point for our community call on Wednesday and Sunday both, and we'll continue to do so. But I do think that there's some Discord hooks that can be done as far as from a notification standpoint, but and from the timing of the proposal standpoint, I know that DSign pinged people on the one, and this is the one that got created because most of these aren't new. So the one that is new is this incentivizing a development environment, and it's one that he just created a couple days ago, and the end date on it is December 13th. And this was he put that based upon recommendation from me to because one of the things that we do again intentionally is talk about those on the core team call and on the community call. So I'm open for some ideas and on what we can do to improve that. And yeah, so I don't think that we can necessarily hash that out here today, but let's think on that between now and the core team call on Sunday as far as what we can do. And like one of the things that I'm wanting to do is have like a weekly update communication. And that's something that wanting to deliver from a new content standpoint. I've talked about that in the past, and that's one of the deliverables that I have personally as an ambassador for BitDAO to one of the value added pieces. And that's one of the things that I think that we can implement here. But yeah, open for some ideas on that, because it's definitely an important component, and wanting, like, one of the ethoses that wanting to instill here is a KISS, keep it super simple. So however that we can make operating and contributing here at REtoken easier for everybody, I'm all open for some ideas.
Just a quick KISS is a dedicated channel to just have proposals when they're made, and that's what a hook would do in theory, you know, if we were to pay for it. But that is something we could do manually now that we could look into.
I think that there's bots that provide capabilities with Snapshot. I mean, like
yeah, there is. They have one in Badger, I think.
I don't think they're free, but yeah, we could definitely look
Blurs,
into it.
I think there's one in Badger that they use for governance. And also
go ahead.
Uma uses Carlbot for theirs. So I'm sure there's something that one or two we could use. And one thing that that I've kind of noticed is that, and maybe it's just of late, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, but like of late, it seems like I've been getting a million pings from the server, and I would maybe we can try to tone down all the notifications to like just things that are like really important, like Blur said, like for instance, for like voting, you know, anytime there's a new proposal, I'd be in favor of like tagging everybody. But I mean, you know, for people like me, they're in, you know, 50 or 100 discords. When I open the thing and I see like 100 plus notifications, it can get overwhelming. So Earlier today, I had 11 notifications from REtoken, and it was only from like literally for a few hours. So it's not, I don't want to make a huge deal out of it, but it can get kind of like overwhelming to keep up with it at times.
Well, it has been a busy 24 hours in REtoken. I'm not gonna lie on that, but I think that's really the opportunity here during this entire REtoken relaunch month is really the opportunity to get some more clearly defined processes, procedures, protocols, best practices, all of that. And while I've got this up here, because this is a proposal here, the one that DSign put forward, I haven't personally voted on, and I wanted to thank DSign for moving this forward, and again, thank him for stepping up to lead the dev team. And I'm going to very publicly show my support for this vote and vote yes on this initiative. So I will get my stupid MetaMask. I thought I put in that password in here. But anyway, we are already 1 minute over the hour. I mean, we've got a lot of agenda. I didn't really go through a lot of these BIDL, and this is just the start of it. I mean, we're going to be talking about REtoken relaunch all month, but I wanted to go on mute myself and give everybody else the opportunity to chime in some final thoughts. And I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. So
Hey.
Go on.
Oh, just real quick, Kevin, if you're still on the call, I need your wallet for this airdrop. That's all. I sent you a message. I don't know if you saw it.
I appreciate it.
Right. So I was going to go, but if anybody else wants to speak.
Is it an ETH wallet?
Yeah, I'll follow up with you separately. I just send me your Discord. I'll follow up with you separately. I tried to DM you and I didn't know you're not on my list. So I want to make sure I didn't miss you.
I'll talk to you. Thank you.
Right. So there's two things I just want to point out that we want community involvement, and also to the Poopster's comment on the mass ping. Maybe we should, if we need someone specifically, like there's no problem with mass pinging the ambassador team. That's fine. But in terms of core teams, so maybe we individually ping if we need them in particular. So I think that way we can avoid sort of mass pinging everyone all at the same time. But apart from that, I just want to point out we need tokenomics into the Discord server. So people who comes in, because I don't know what's the tokenomics are for the REtoken. There is no information I can dig through. That's one thing. The other thing is for us to participate into the snapshot voting system, we need REtoken in our wallets. So I don't think I have any REtoken at this moment. Taylor said we're going to get some REtokens, but I think all the ambassador teams, new members should also get some REtoken because of their contribution, maybe however small that is. It does not have to have a monetary value, rather it's appreciation that we are working and we are in this together. So I think Jason and Taylor can sort that out for us, and that would be great. Thanks.
On the tokenomics specifically, one of the things that's very different about our project compared to almost any other crypto project out there is that we're taking a security token and digital asset path to liquidity, if you will. And one of the things that we've done is roadmapped our a security token offering via U.S. securities regulation crowdfunding. And that's one of the things that we'll be having more conversations about. But I am hearing what you're saying. And that's one of the things like why we're looking at implementing Coordinate is the process has been very manual as far as like right now we've got 17 people on the Zoom, and the reason that Tyler was asking about Kevin's wallet is that we're manually doing participation, and this is like one of the reasons that on the Bankless DAO Degen bot, there's multiple different reasons why we're using Zoom as far as from a technology and platform delivery standpoint. Not going to go off on tangent because we're already over time on that. But that's one of the opportunities from a tooling standpoint to automate all the things like the participation, the secretary stuff. And I do want to thank Tyler, Mrs. Yonks, for doing that. That's taken a lot of the admin burden off of my plate for doing that. And also wanted to, again, thank Amy for her of the POAP event and distribution. That's also taken some stuff off of my plate. So our tokenomics, like, and that's one of the things that we're, I don't even think that we actually have the defining of that specifically within our white paper. And one of the things, and we may want to revisit, and this is one of the things that we had a tokenomics channel that is in now the to be archived, and we can kick that conversation, take that offline via Discord. But wanted to let everybody know that all the thoughts are being heard, and that's one of the things that we want to do better at. And I encourage people, like providing feedback. Like I sometimes feel I operate in a vacuum, and until I get feedback, I'm going to continue going in a particular direction until get some feedback to go in a different direction. So I love the feedback, and that's one of the things. This is like, look at it too, REtoken relaunch. Think of it feedback month. Like, hey, I've got some ideas that I want to see happen here, because I really believe that we're laying a solid foundation here for being a disruptive force in real estate. And that's one of the things that wanting to kind of like put that ethos in the culture. And like one of the things that we spoke about during our white paper working group the other night, and this is one of the pages or the sections is more like that you had as Blackfire as an action item, was the we page. And this is something that I've been doing some thinking about today, because like really an organization has no autonomy. Anybody that believes that is lying to themselves. And like there's protocols that have some autonomy, like Bitcoin is a protocol that has some autonomy. Now, organizations themselves, now, like one of the things that I put forward about wanting to create is a co-op housing protocol, and looking at doing that in a sister initiative via Our Home. I'm going to put forward some more conversations about that here in December. But there's anyway, to get back on, super excited about REtoken relaunch, launching teams. I want to really hope and let that like resonate and marinate with everybody here over the next couple of days. Looking real quick at the REtoken calendar, and I'm going to bring that up, and I'm going to go on mute and let everybody else chime in some final thoughts. It's already 8 minutes after our normal hour. Final thoughts, everybody. I'm going on mute now.
I want to thank Julie for doing all the timestamps. That's super helpful. Another thing that really takes a lot off us. Thank you for doing that, Julie. And also thank you, Julie, Poopster, and Design for boosting our server. Once we're almost up to the next level of Discord, and just gonna make our Discord better and better. So if any of you guys are interested in boosting it, it's $5 a month. You get some extra posts or some extra perks. Once we get to 14, then we can get a vanity URL for the server, and then we can invite people a lot more aggressively into it. So just throwing that out there. So thanks, Design, Julie, and Poopster for doing that. That's super helpful.
I'd like to thank our Bankless folks who have come in here and have been really, for the best, disrupting what we've been doing and bringing us in the right direction. Because, yeah, we were brand new, and it's not that we didn't know what we were doing altogether, but we had the right idea, and now we have these folks coming in here and really pushing us in the right direction. So I'm very excited. Over the past, even 3 days, we've had some major changes that are really putting us in the right direction. So I'm really excited here.
And thank you for that, Blurs, and thank you for acknowledging that was something that slipped through the cracks there. Yes, Julie has been doing an amazing job on the timestamps. And one of the other opportunities that I want to put this out there is for somebody that wants to help us level up our game. An immediate need and opportunity that we have is for somebody that likes to produce, to be the live stream producer using a tool, OBS. It's something that I've had on that I know that I need to get done. It's just I haven't had the bandwidth with everything else that I've been doing. And the way that we work things, like Mrs. Yonks for orchestrating the participation effort, she gets a bonus REtoken for that. And for hosting and for leading the efforts, people get a bonus REtoken. For Julie, facilitating the amazing timestamps in our chat live stream there, Julie will get a bonus REtoken for that effort. And then like the opportunity to use those timestamps and really elevate the finished product, like the video that exists on YouTube perpetually, the opportunity to go back and add some markers for that. But again, we're already over time, and it looked like that the final thoughts were winding down here tonight. And
I've
one
got
of
a
the
thought here.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I see that you have your hand up. Apologies, D-Sign. This is where I'm trying to get better. So thank you for chiming in and not being afraid to chime in.
I think as for the Discord notifications, that was something I was worried about too, because I don't want somebody to mute the Discord to try and get away from the notifications and then end up missing something. I think a solution that we could do is theoretically, like all the work being done for the DAO should have a team captain responsible for it. So I think if you're doing some work for the DAO or you have an announcement for the DAO and you need everybody to hear something, I think you should report it, or we could implement the system where you report it to your team captain or another team captain, or just a member of the core team or something. And then maybe we have like 2 or 3 times a day where all of the important notices that we've gotten in the last however many hours gets reported on an announcements channel all in one message, so that at max, everybody's getting 2 or 3 pings a day from our server.
And I just want to jump in there, like, just to kind of make the point that, honestly, man, if I see like 5 or 6, I'm to the point where I just right click and clear, because the thing is like, if I read through like 3 or 4 and they don't pertain to me, I start getting, like I said, I have 50 different Discord servers I'm in, and that happens. So like, that's the only reason I want to be cognizant of, like, when we use, when we tag everybody, is because what happens is, you become desensitized to it, and you think, well, this isn't going to be for me. I'm just going to clear it. Just going to clear it. That, at least that's what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Using the here or at everyone tag is dangerous.
And that's again, like all stuff. I love the ideas and love the feedback, and we can definitely work on getting some define. And I'm glad some definition on that during this REtoken relaunch month here in December. So I'm glad I looked at the calendar, because this is something that I didn't have, and this is why that I try to do a better job creating a detailed agenda. But we've got and this is going to be a first. This is a DAO orientation intro, an AMA with myself that I'm going to be hosting. And I'm going to be doing that in a similar manner. And I might even dial that back from a 10-minute non-live stream window. But this is one of the things where kind of testing out. And one of the things that I mentioned in a DM to Julie is that, like, pretty much everything that we're doing here is an experiment. I mean, DAOs are functionally an experiment, a social experiment, and we're very early. We're very early to crypto. And anyway, where I was going with that is that in this onboarding category, if you hadn't noticed, I pulled the introductions into the onboarding. And here, to go back, Blackfire, to one of the things that you were talking about was how can we get more REtoken in people's hands earlier so that they can participate in the governance. And this is actually something that I put in a specific opportunity for people that go through and do an introduction in our introductions channel. And this is the proposal where I'm looking for, and I'll ping you in here, Blackfire. Spoke about this on community call number 15. So this is where talking about creating an incentive, a small amount, 10 REtoken, but just easier way to get people's some REtoken out there. So this is something that I thought would be a great way for incentivizing behavior that we want to see happen, like people introducing themselves here, feeling welcome, then also the opportunity. And one of the other things that I would really like to see us get a better job at, where we run a very heavily threaded Discord environment, and the better that we can do being more consistent on that. And one opportunity that we have of doing that is in the introductions channel. So for the people that are really helping to drive the ambassadors initiative, if you could, one, help create a new thread for somebody when they introduce themselves, and then two, when you see a thread, welcome, help people feel welcome. And that's one of the biggest opportunities that we identified, is to improve the REtoken onboarding experience. But we're already 15 minutes past the hour. Last chance, and I'm going to do a 5-second countdown timer here before we end it up and go on to the next and have a good night.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming in and bringing perspective, bringing some more organization, talking about tokenomics and trying to get that on our on the agenda and in our purview, talking about what are some of the technicals about how we're going to do what we want to do. I appreciate that, and looking forward to this dev meeting coming up.
Yes, thank you for that, Ryan, and love you being here tonight. Have missed your participation, so thank you for taking the time to show up tonight. This is a great month to get engaged for anybody here at REtoken. I mean, this will definitely be a transformational month. I mean, you've already heard from a couple people that are on the core team as far as how excited they are. You just heard from Ryan. Ryan was one of the, one of the key contributors during us winning the Decentralized Governance Hackathon. So thank you for all your contributions that you did there in the early days of REtoken. And it seems weird saying early days, but a lot has happened since August here at REtoken. And it's going to be a busy month. December's looking to, anyway. I'm gonna do the 5-second countdown timer again here before we wrap it up.
Do we still have the what was the American made solar, or what's the deal with that?
Unfortunately, we are not proceeding with that. So that was something I don't remember, or I'm not sure if you had joined, and that was something that we spoke briefly about. But as I alluded earlier, we are still, Token Town is still our flagship project. And there's been lots of conversations. Like one of the conversations that I would like to foster is seeing if Bankless can help us biddle Token Town without banks. Because I would absolutely love to destroy the connotation of mortgage. It's absolutely been the only wealth appreciation that people have got is through the price appreciation. Mortgages, as far as a financial tool, are an absolutely evil vehicle, in my opinion. So the more that we can foster conversations about, we have the tagline, the HOA destroyer. Maybe we can also have that be the mortgage destroyer. But anyway,
did we actually hear back from that? Was there a response on our submission then?
I don't think that we've actually gotten a response on the submission. If you would like, what I'll do here I'll provide the links to the blog post where everybody can see the list of awards, and we'll take that offline, and I'll put that in Discord so that everybody can take a look at that. Any final? I'm gonna do the 5-second countdown timer.
I just wanna thank everyone for doing an excellent job. To be honest, especially Jason is organizing the Discord server, plus the Trello card, plus the other tools we'll be using in the future, and are continuously using it currently. But thanks everyone for help and cooperations. Hopefully moving forward, if there is a team out there, there will be conflicts of interest. That's what we gotta get through it. We gotta mitigate those and address those timely manners so that we don't leave behind anything. I'm pretty sure that Jason would be very happy to do that. And he's leading the team, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's spending a lot of time, and that's one of the things we're gonna see, that the person who's leading the team is committed to it, and it seems he's very committed to REtoken DAO. So that's one of the things motivates the rest of us as well. So well done, and thank you. And same as all Taylor and Blur's Day, and you got the Dylan and the Poops there. So everybody's and the Julie, of course, the Amy, of course. Amy just messaged me probably before I joined the chat. She said the meeting is on. You got to come and join us. So thank you, Amy. Thanks for your message. Really appreciate it. And thanks everyone. And until next time.
Yeah, thanks. Just wanted to piggyback on what Blurs was saying earlier. Thank you to all the Bankless folks for helping. We're really grateful, and it's awesome to have everybody on board. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you all for having me here too.
And one thing that I did want to bring forward, and this is something that almost slipped my mind, and this is something that we'll pick up because I really want people to contemplate what this can look like and can mean as far as for a direction. And where I was going with that, and I had that chat in the live stream channel, but the Citadel, and this is one of the channels under Dowplomacy. Citadel is a blockchain real estate tokenization project. They're getting ready to do, they're introducing real estate on chain IRO. And you can read more about that here. This is something that I'll put as a bullet point on. And where I'm going with that is how that we want to approach this, because the ethos that I like to operate under, I don't believe in competition within the blockchain, because like right now we're so early and I'm so confident as far as the foundation and the direction that we're going. We just need to figure out how that we want to approach this. So let that kind of like dwell, marinate, whatever I've said in the past, the Citadel, and how that because this isn't the only project that we could potentially provide some content to, because one of the opportunities, and this is one of the conversations that I want to be intentional about having, spearheading myself, is how can we invest in real estate for as little as $100? I want to ask that question, answer that question in 2022, and Citadel will probably provide a vehicle for doing that. So like, again, putting our content hat on, or our content lens, because again, I do categorize us as a content DAO. If you haven't got it yet, pick up Content Inc. on audiobook. Highly recommend it. We'll be talking about that all throughout 2022. But final thoughts, I'm going to do the countdown timer again, and then we'll call it a good night.
Yeah, is there a pill ingestible form of the book instead of an audio?
Not yet, but this is the second edition, so maybe Joe Paluzzi could get that in his third edition.
Youngs, is Citadel a separate company, or is that one of the baby DAOs of REtoken?
No, Citadel's anyway, I would encourage you to do some research. There's no relation to REtoken at all. Find a vehicle for doing. So I participated in their community call. I sent a fairly detailed Twitter thread. You can take a look. It's in the City DAO. I'll ping you in that channel here too.
So I just also want to say that all the new people joined today, this call. Welcome to REtoken DAO community call. And if you want to get involved more into it, we are always in the Discord. So come have a discussion with us, get involved, leave us your thoughts and your suggestion, and we'll be happy to onboard new people in the team. Thank you.
And I do believe that this was one of the record as far as like actual people, various people that are participated. I mean, we've had some higher numbers as far as like Zoom jackers or something like that. But as far as like different people that have chimed in on our community call, and I love the interactivity here. So thank you, everybody. I'm gonna default and the 5-second countdown timer again before we call it for a wrap. Love hanging out with you all. Oh, real quick, I saw, Tyler, that you had this on the call. Is that something that we're going to proceed with, the Trello 101 for 7 Eastern tomorrow, or is that something that there's going to be some more conversation on? Well, we will take that offline, and we'll get an event created in Discord for that whenever that is finalized. So I'm going to go back to the countdown timer before we call it a good night here on the metaverse. Are we in the meta? Is this the metaverse?
I hope so.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Till next time.